Transcription and translation are examples of biological processes composed of many interacting biomolecules. Translation is a complicated process. It all can be simplified down to very simple rules if all we care about is predicting the translation product for an open reading frame. However, don't forget, translation is a complicated process. There is an orchestra of reactions taking place that involve the things you are accustomed to thinking about, including ribosomes and mRNAs. However, there is also a battery of enzymes for processing tRNAs, regulating the production of all these biomolecules, and producing all the precursor chemicals. Much of this complexity does not directly interact with most proteins you would put into the cell. However, if you are adding genes that can interfere with translation, you'll see some interactions. However, even for the average normal non-translation protein, the process of building that protein molecule has its own kinetics, its own transient microstates in terms of ribosome stalling and coincident folding of the protein. I won't go further in discussing translation today since we'll spend much more time on it later. However, for now, understand it's a complicated process. The other major process that you will need to worry about is transcription. It is similarly an orchestra of metabolism and polymerization chemistry that also includes transcription factors and many microstates. Much of the complexity is in the early metabolic steps controlling production of monomer nucleotides, but the initiation process is also quite complex. It is even more complex in eukaryotes. We'll deal with transcriptional models also in a later lecture. Just note for now that translation and transcription are two very complicated processes in a cell. It is currently unrealistic to model these processes at high refinement due to the large number of interactions in species and the sparsity of kinetic data for describing most of these interactions. Instead, simpler phenomenological models are more commonly used to describe these processes.